Welcome back to Caps and Cocktails with Tea, and today I'm going to do an unboxing. And this cap I received in the mail a couple days ago, and it's come all the way from Poland. And this particular family, they've been in business, again, celebrating 100 years. And it was actually started back in 1926 by Anna Sterkowska. And she opened her first workshop, and now 4 generations later, their Sterkowsi brand is still known for, masterful craftsmanship, with a lot of their steps still being done by hand. And they're carefully selected materials that they choose is just nothing but the best. And so I'm super excited today to do the first unboxing, if you will. So here we go, Sterkowsi, and they always come, of course, when you get caps in the mail, they come in different kinds of boxes, but when you get a Sterkowsi, you're getting even the finest quality of a box. So let's go ahead and get to it. And I have, this will make, I think this will be my 8th cap by Sterkowsi. Okay, so when you open the box, you immediately see some things here, and it says, "I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship," and that it is, because every single cap that I've gotten has been so nice. And so then, and when you open it up again, here it tells all the different styles of caps. They make more than just an 8-panel or a 6-panel or a flat cap. They make, if you notice here, of course, newsboy, flat caps, dockers, berets, vintage biker caps, baseball caps, fedoras, even aviator caps. So many different styles of caps, and you always get a discount on your next one as well. And then a little booklet that tells a little bit more about the Sterkowsi family and the tradition as it continues. So this is the cap. Okay, so put this box over here to the side. And this cap, they named it, the Shelby Error. And when I unbox it, it's a limited edition, and it's actually known now as the Shelby that shouldn't exist. And in the video, in the Sterkowsi video website, it talks about Casper Sterkowsi, cutting panels, and there's just different rolls of all kinds of fabrics. So he actually grabbed the wrong fabric to use for this particular cap. But the mistake actually turned out to be a pretty cool mistake, because I just love this color. It's called a I think it's considered a turquoise when they describe it, but it's a Panama cotton. Let's take a look here a little closer. So this is it. Look at the color of that. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And another thing, of course, Sterkowsi does is they pack, everything's packed so nice. So of course, you have the tags on it. It tells my size, size 55. And then a pin that came with it, because it is called the Error, the Shelby Error. So in other words, you don't get the green check on that one. You got the X there, the Error, sign for error. So I thought that was pretty cool, little touch that they put there. But again, I think this was a fantastic mistake, because this cap really is gorgeous. And another thing that Sterkowsi does, of course, the packaging on the inside, has their label, their brand on it as well. So, again, as I mentioned, it's a, pull the back out here. It's 8 panels to this cap. And just a really nice, really soft Panama cotton. So then you look underneath, and it has a really great lining. And of course, there's the tag as well. So yeah, so I haven't tried it on yet, because it really is, an unboxing. So let's put it on. Get a little bend there. Oh yeah, this cap's sweet. Yep. All their caps are just, fantastic, everything about them. And, but this is just a great cap. Not only with color, but, just the craftsman that goes into each and every cap. So I'm going to give a bit of more of a bend. Yeah. And a little spin around, so you can kind of see the whole cap. very nice. And of course, you know, the pen, which I probably, you know, will put that pen on this particular cap. And I actually got introduced to Sterkowsi just a few short months ago. And it was actually, I had joined one of the cap groups among our community, and it's called the Big Sterkowsi, which was created by Keith Minar. So shout out to Keith. But he really just started a really great group, rather, that it just talks, it's a collector's community, and it just really celebrates the quality craftsmanship of this awesome brand of hats. And so I met a lot of great people in the group. People just respect each other. There's not some of the drama that you see in a lot of the other groups. And, you know, there's a lot of good things that happen in there. I mean, Keith himself generously, you know, has gifted numerous caps to people that just maybe, we're going through a hard spot, or just want to just do something nice for someone. And then, of course, that grows to people in our group, rather, that, you know, will gift a cap to other people as well. So I love everything about it. I think he's doing a great thing, and it is, in my opinion, I mean, I'd be a little biased, but I think just is the best group out there. All right, so a little story, and then I'm going to make a drink. And I'm going to make today an old-fashioned. I know I made an old-fashioned, a harbor old-fashioned on one of my last videos, but this one, because, you know, I want to use quality everything, quality ingredients, you know, as high quality as I have, and just make a true, just traditional, you know, old-fashioned, with a little bit of twist to it. So to kind of give you an idea, why I say a little twist to it is I'm going to use some bourbon infused maple syrup, and this is what it looks like. Okay, and I got this syrup, and I got 3 different syrups, and I'll tell you a story first, and then I'll talk about the syrups and the drink that I'm going to use in it. But living here up near the lake in Port Clinton, Ohio, every year, one day of the year, we always have what's called Adult Day, you know. And there's a kids' day here where, you know, they have canoe and kayak races, fishing derby, and, you know, it's all about the kids, and bounce house in the park, and games and all the things, snow cone machines, and just a lot of fun the kids get to have. So one day out of the entire year, we get to have what's called Adult Day. And, you know, a lot of people that live here where I live, they're seasonal, as I used to be as well. And then I also had a house in Mansfield, and then at the time I was traveling quite a bit with my job, so I was gone 3 or 4 nights staying in a hotel. So it was just, you know, 3 places coming and going, didn't know. But since then, I've not had to travel so much with my job. So, and also we decided to live then here at the lake permanently, you know, full time. So when people get together for Adult Day, a lot of people are seasonal, and that's a lot of fun, you know. And our day started yesterday at 10 a.m. and it started with a poker run, which, you know, we all have golf carts, you know, around here. So there were 5 different stops, and they all had cards. And the idea is to go to each stop and get a card, and then after you're done, but each stop, actually, they offer up a shot. You know, in this case, it was an early poker run, so it was breakfast-inspired shots. So, you know, we had people that had a Bloody Mary. We had people that had a mimosa shot. I think there was a Cheerios cereal, a couple of, I can't think of the other one. And then the one that actually won the best shot was the Ock family that have a place up here. And they are also the ones that made the maple syrup. So what their shot was, you know, a maple syrup inspired shot, but then they also have blueberry French toast also, so you could have the shot with the blueberry with the French toast inspired, the maple syrup inspired for your shot. And then they all had the crock pot of blueberry waffles, blueberry I can't remember the thing, but anyway, good, just everything, it was good stuff. So anyhow, so then after the poker run, then there's a scavenger hunt, which is super fun. And a group of us, you know, go around, and different things you had to take pictures of or find or do. And one was, you know, you had to switch clothes with somebody on your team, but picture before and after. I mean, it's Adult Day, so, you know, it's a lot of fun. And then after that, Then down at the park here where I live is, there's all kinds of games, adult games. You've got your flip cup, and you've got, musical mats where music plays. You got to sit down on a mat, and there is a lot of drinking that goes on, on adult day, obviously, with the games, and just all the different kinds. And then after that, then there's always a band that plays, at 8 o'clock at night, and we've had a really kick-ass band that's been playing up here for the last, 2 or 3 years, I believe. So we have a lot of fun, but about 8 years ago, at adult day, I broke my leg. And at the time, one of the games was a kickball game, and you think, that's harmless, good game of kickball, bring back those memories. And so, but the twist of it is, of course, the bases were baby pools, and in between the baby pools were slip and slides that were nice and lathered and slippery by Dawn dish soap and the hose and keeping all that going, and the baby pools filled up. So it looks like a lot of fun, but let me tell you what, if you see the game being played and you're like, man, I want to jump in on that game, do think about it first, because in my case, I was having a great time. Someone kicked the ball, I'm in the outfield, I'm running to catch the ball, and then next thing I know, I'm on the ground, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? But my foot got on the slip and slide that was between the bases, and I just went down. I immediately, and I'm like, okay, I got to get up, but I couldn't get up, and automatically just immediate pain. I looked down, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, my ankle was like this big, and it was just, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the heck just happened? And so trying to stand up, I can't. So people are helping me to try to stand up, and immediately realized probably something way wrong, was more wrong than just a sprain or, twisting something. And yeah, but, I had never broke anything, so I thought, I'll just work through this today. It's gonna be, but I couldn't even put pressure on it. So, like my good friends do, like, well, let's take her over to the baby pool. There was another baby pool that was filled up with tons of ice and all kinds of alcoholic beverages, beers and the drinks and all the things. So like, let's put her over there, and let's put her, leg and her ankle in the ice, and that way it'll help the swelling. And so I'm like, well, I'm fine with that. I already had a few drinks, so I wasn't going to miss the rest of adult day, even with a broken leg. So, okay, take me over to the baby pool, and that's where I was for a while. And then after that, like, well, let's bring her golf cart over to her, and let's put her on the golf cart, and that way I can still enjoy the rest of the day. And then there's a few people like, go get her some meds, get her some pain meds, and she'll be fine. And I was fine. I didn't want to go home. I was like, I'm fine, and just, it's a little, incident. And the running joke around here is if something happens here on a weekend, you don't go to the hospital. You don't go to the emergency room unless you're dying, unless it's critical. And it was a Saturday rather. So I'm like, it is a weekend. So run that forward a little bit. So the next morning, so I had to have people help me get in the house. I had to keep people that help me get into the bed. And so I wake up the next morning, I'm like, look, wow, okay. I think I need to go to the hospital. I think I need to go to the emergency room and actually just see what's going on here. And yeah, that was the news I got, is you broke your leg, playing kickball. So I guess when you see that game being played, really think about my story, because it could go fine for you. You could have a great time, or you could be like I was, middle of the summer, and you're just down for 6 weeks. Couldn't drive my vehicle. I couldn't use a stupid crutches. So I had a little buggy thing that I would do, and I put my leg up on it and try to wheel it around. It was the dumbest stuff. Tried to drive, that was not a good idea. Okay, so tried to, meaning I didn't go very far. I'm like, this is probably not very smart. So my poor wife, of course, had to wait on me hand and foot. And I'll be honest, in the end there, I did kind of push the envelope. Like, I could have done something, but anyway, got through that. But so adult day, lots of fun, but yeah, you got to just kind of, watch. So making the old fashioned, there's, going back to, it was one of the shots that was offered up yesterday. And Cami Ock, a good friend of mine, and her family, they make maple syrup. So this is Ock Family Maple Syrup, and they're out of New Washington, Ohio. That's just a regular, and I've had this kind before. I've gotten it from her. But she told me yesterday that she has different kinds now. And this one is a coffee infused maple syrup. And you can actually see is actually coffee beans in the very top there that you can see a little bit better. So I haven't tried that one yet, but oh man, I'm excited about that. Yeah, I'm really excited because I love coffee, and so coffee infused maple syrup. Excited for that one. And then the other one that she talked about was the bourbon infused syrup. So that's the one that I'm going to use today instead of just a traditional simple syrup. So that's the only twist on the old fashioned I'm making today. But I did open it up and try just a little bit to see how it tasted, and I mean it's great. I mean the ingredients is maple syrup and bourbon, you know. But you can taste a little bit. I mean, it's not a strong, heavy, obviously alcohol flavored. It's more the sweet, but you can taste it a little bit more than just maple syrup, and it's really good. So I think it's going to be really good in this drink. So old fashioned. So first of all, of course, I got to get things ready. So get my glass here. Of course, this one gets the big chunk of ice as well. So get my little chunk of ice there and kind of put that to the side because again, I'm going to mix all the ingredients in this guy right here. So let me get my ice going. Now, I am going to smoke this one because I think that will still even further enhance a lot of the flavors of the bourbons there. So again, then 2 ounces start with. And you know, because I'm wearing the Sterkowsi and the quality of that, my ingredients, like I said, I'm going to use the best quality I can of what I have. And Buffalo Trace again is what I use for my old fashioned drink. So let's give 2 ounces of that. You know, maybe a little bit heavy pour. Okay, and I'm also going then to put the bourbon infused syrup in here using, oh, wrong guy. I haven't had anything to drink yet. I think it's just a little bit of after effects from yesterday. I do have the Sunday Fun Day shirt on, which has the old fashioned drink, but I'm more in recovery mode today, so I'm going to try this and I'm excited to try it, but I probably won't. I'll probably finish it. Who am I kidding? But I probably won't have multiples. Okay, so here we go. I always use this to put the syrup in. It's a pretty good, right on the money amount because again, everything has to have balance. Okay, so, and then I am going to use orange bitters, you know, for this one. So this is going to give like 3 or 4 dashes of the orange bitters. So 1, 2, 3. Ooh, doesn't look like a lot. So there's 3. And of course, gotta give it a good stir. Marry everything up, especially since it's syrup. Oh, and then another thing she had said is that someone said they were going to use that bourbon syrup on ribs, to base for ribs. So there's multiple uses for that bourbon flavored maple syrup. I mean, that's really good. Okay, so I think we got enough stir of that in there. Okay, so now I'm going to strain it into my cup here. Okay, I got that. And I'm gonna smoke this one. So how I do there's different kinds, variations of how people smoke these, but I'm gonna use bourbon barrel, and it's smoke dust, and it's from Smoke Show. I've gotten some things from Smoke Show, and a lot of it is the smoke dust that I'm putting in my smoker. And they also do have syrups that they've been offering up. In fact, here's a maple pecan cocktail syrup, and I've got 2 other ones as well. I've got just an orange one and just a regular one. So instead of, you know, doing the simple sugar and all that, I do use sometimes the syrups in mine as well. So we've got to load up our smoker first. So here's the top of it, and they give you a little spoon that you can to put the wood dust in the top, and you don't need a whole lot, but you want to give it get it a good smoke. So I'm gonna load that up there pretty good. All right, so next is the torch. Got to torch this baby. And so that it can fill up, you know, from where the liquid is into the top a little bit more. Okay, I think that's good. Let that kind of sit there for, sit there for just a second. Let that fill with smoke. And then my garnishes I'm going to use for this one, I'm going to use the traditional, you know, the orange peel. I've already got that ready to roll. And then cherries. I'm going to use a darker cherry. Sometimes you do the Luxor cherries, but this case it's just Bordeaux. It's a darker Martino cherry, but they're still very good. So we got our smoker here, and I think it's probably ready to come off. And then I'll do the garnish for the orange here. So look at that, fancy schmancy. And of course, to stress the orange inside there. Just want that, and then just give it a roll around on the rim. Drop your orange peel in there. Got a couple cherries ready to go. And sometimes I'll just put one, sometimes two. So in this case, I'm gonna just give it 2 cherries. So that's the old fashioned with the bourbon infused syrup with the bourbon smoke. So let's taste it. That's delicious. That's delicious. Absolutely fantastic. And I don't usually put my cherries in. I smoke it first and then we'll drop those in later. But yeah, this is really good. All right. Well, here's the great caps, great cocktails, and even better stories. Cheers.